It's that time of year. It's time for Giant Monster Month. Most of the cheesy giant monster movies with bad effects, horrible acting, and a liberal interpretation of the dangers of radiation or pollution come from the 1950s. In later videos, we'll get into some of these examples, but I wanted to take today to highlight a strange exception to this trend. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is a surprisingly well-made monster movie that escapes mediocrity, in large part due to its special effects, by Ray Harryhausen, a pupil of O'Brien, who arguably mastered the art of stop motion. Harryhausen would contribute effects to major movies, such as The Clash of the Titans, for 3 more decades. The impact of the movie's special effects is highlighted by the fact that The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is your typical monster movie. The formula, man finds monster, monster kills man, man kills monster, is intact, and despite some small differences, does little to differentiate itself from the many movies that would soon follow. However, it is important to remember that this movie sets the archetype for a 50s monster movie, not simply following it. For example, if I were to describe a movie where nuclear testing awakened a dinosaur-like creature that terrorized a major city immune to conventional warfare, many of you would probably picture a famous monster that wouldn't make it to the silver screen until a year after The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. In fact, in 1953, the plot was pretty different from its predecessors like King Kong. The film starts with atomic bomb testings, awakening the so-called Rhedosaurus trapped below the ice. Having humanity directly responsible for the monster's rampage was a unique concept that mirrored the world's concerns with the powerful and dangerous nuclear weapons that had recently been discovered. The only survivor of the beast's awakening, Nesbit, collects clues of the monster's whereabouts as the beast wreaks havoc in the Atlantic and off the coast of Maine. The scene in Maine, where Rhedosaurus destroys a lighthouse, is actually inspired by a short story by Ray Bradbury, the science fiction writer responsible for Fahrenheit 451. The scene is excellent, showing the audience the sheer power of the beast before raising the stakes. The stakes are raised quickly though, as Nesbit and a paleontologist called Elson discover that the beast is returning to its ancient stomping ground of Manhattan. As you would expect, the Rhedosaurus destroys huge parts of New York before being injured by the army. Even when the heroes think they are safe, they learn the beast's blood is infecting people with an ancient virus, causing even more devastation. So, first the city is destroyed, and then those who stick around get sick? Starting to see the comparison here? Anyway, the army decides that bombing the monster would only spread more contamination, so they decide to shoot a radioactive isotope instead, killing it without spreading the disease. When the beast finally reappears at Coney Island, it is shot by a sniper who's on top of a roller coaster. Yeah, really. Also, the roller coaster goes up in flames anyways, so I guess they were wrong about burning the beast? Or did they just end the movie before we saw the rest of New York get sick? I guess we'll never know. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is seriously worth a watch for being one of the earliest and best looking monsters in cinema history. It's a joy whenever Rhedosaurus is on screen. Check it out.